Hey guys, so here we have the back episode for the slow mode series. First up, we've got the bent dumbbell row. One of my favorite exercises. Works a lot of the muscles of the back, mainly the rhomboids as well as the trapezius and a bit of the lats there as well. And there's some bicep, there's some tricep in there. There's a lot of different muscles playing a role. So for this one, you really want to make sure that you are not rounding your back because you could injure yourself. So you want to make sure your back's nice and flat. When you're bringing up the weight, bringing it up to about a 90-degree angle at the elbow as much as you can. Get that nice tight squeeze in the muscle, and then obviously bring it back down nice and slow, which is the purpose of this series. Remember, the eccentric movements is what we're focusing on. So this works with a lot of good muscles, really good exercise. Make sure you're doing both arms one at a time. It's really good when you're doing concentrated exercises, so one muscle at a time. Let's say if you're doing a bicep curl, you do one bicep and then the other. Second exercise, slow mode series, is lat pulldown. Really popular exercise that a lot of people like to do at the gym. I like to do it at the gym. It's a really good one. You can really feel it in your lats. For this one, just one kind of tip I want to put out to you guys is to make sure that you're not... A lot of people, they put a lot of weight and then they use their entire upper body and kind of push it back to be able to bring that weight down instead of just using their arms and their lats, which is proper form. So you want to make sure that you're using a good amount of weight. You don't want to be using too much because then you're just doing improper form and you're not hitting the right muscles and it's kind of pointless. So that's my one kind of tip for this exercise. This is really hitting your lats, so those big muscles in your back, as well as your teres major, which connects from your scapula to your humerus. So that's it's pretty. Well, the lat is a big muscle. Teres major is a bit smaller, but it plays a big role in this exercise. Third exercise is the bent over lat pull down. This is one of my favorite ones that I like to do that I learned not too long ago. I saw somebody doing it actually in the gym and I was like, hey, I'm going to try that. So I tried it and I really feel a good pump when I do it, and I really feel that tug on my lats, and that when you're pulling down that weight, you really feel it squeezing in your lats, which is, when you're exercising, it really kind of makes you more confident in what you're doing when you can actually feel what you're doing in your muscles. So it's really nice to be able to do that. So this one works your lats, your teres major as well. So those are the main ones we're trying to hit here with this episode, as well as the rhomboids and the trapezius. So this one's really good for your lats. When you're bringing up the weight, bring it up nice and slow, and then a lot of force, bring it down nice and quick. Really good. Really push as far as you can when you get down at the bottom so you can really feel that squeeze in your lats. Next, we've got the seated cable row. Great exercise. Also another exercise that you're able to use a bunch of different attachments. However, I like to use the V-bar here. Or the V-bar I like to call it. So for this one, you want to make sure, key thing is you're keeping your back nice and straight. As you can see, I'm not, even when I'm releasing the weight, I am not arching my back, because you can get really injured with that. The Erector Spinae muscle, which goes all along your back, is really trying to keep you straight, and if you're stretching it out too much with all that weight, it's going to injure you. So this one's working your lats, working your Erector Spinae, it's working your rhomboids, your trapezius, a lot of good muscles in there, so it's a really good exercise to put into your routine. I put it into my routine every time I do back, and I try to play around with the different attachments. So this is a really good exercise. Next exercise, we've got the concentrated row. This is pretty much like the seated row that we just previously saw, except it's concentrated, so I'm doing each side individually, which I like to do. I like to put those in my workouts because I'm working each muscle at the same intensity, as opposed to having both arms on V-bar, and sometimes one side is stronger than the other. So this really ensures that both sides are getting the same amount of weight, same intensity. Really good exercise. You really feel the pump in this one. and you're working your lats, you're working your rhomboids, trapezius, all those good muscles. So this is a great exercise to put in your back routine if you really want to get a good pump. Last exercise, guys, the Erector Spinae extension. So for this one, it's a really important muscle that you want to make sure you are focusing on when you're doing back as well, because a lot of people like to do lats, but this one's really important, has a big component in posture. So for this one, you want to put the pads on the machine a bit lower than your hips, so that when you're going down, your stomach's not hitting it or anything like that, or it's not poking into your skin. And you go down, extend all the way, flex at the hips, and then up. And that extension movement, that upward movement, is the movement that is putting the strain on the muscle. So you're bringing that weight back up, and you're pulling, right? This muscle's only pulls, so if you wanted to make that a bit harder, you would just use more weight. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the back workout for the slow mode series.